Hunt for Red October was my idea of what we should do. I try to pay an homage to each of the seasons. And this season definitely was Hunt for Red October. And instead of a nuclear submarine, we were looking for a man and intel that could de-escalate the situation.
That's a pretty intense situation.
Jack, I can only imagine what's going on in your head right now. Every day you're on the run, you're digging a hole that you may not be able to get out of.
I'm not running from the CIA.
Then why are they chasing you?
Huge fan of this show since season 1. Love that it really changes from the source material, but this season definitely feels like a blend of Hunt for Red October meets The Sum of All Fears. It's got that intensity. It just starts and doesn't stop. How did it feel different for you making the season compared to the previous two? John, I'll start with you.
First of all, thanks for saying that. I think we all agree that, we really had the fans in mind when we came up with what we were going to do for season 3, because once the pandemic hit, that's clearly what delayed us between 2 and 3. And so when we figured the math was going to be about 3 years between seasons, we really wanted to make a season of television that was worth coming back for, and worth the wait. And so we really did. Hunt for Red October was my idea of what we should do. I try to pay an homage to each of the seasons. And this season definitely was Hunt for Red October. And instead of a nuclear submarine, we were looking for a man and intel that could de-escalate the situation. And so it was really, really fun. And then after that, putting Jack on the run from the CIA, that having it be the CIA that's actually hunting Jack this season just felt like the only way to really amp up the thrill ride. And I think we all felt that from the storytelling perspective, and certainly in the shooting of it, because when you're on the run, you get to go to many different places. We shot in 9 different countries for season 3. And that was during a pandemic. We were under full COVID protocols when we were shooting in 9 different places and doing all these crazy things, and all the stunts that we got to do and all the big set pieces that we got to do all came from a very true place and a very real place because he was on the run. I think that if he wasn't on the run this season, we wouldn't have gotten to do as much of the big action stuff as we got to pull off in season 3. So for me, shooting it, you could feel that intensity level. But again, always came from a place of story, which I love.
A small group of hardline Russians formed a plan to preserve the USSR. Use a nuclear strike to create chaos. The weapon has been built and it is on the move.
And Wendell, for you, there's a lot of kind of dialogue for you this season, a lot more in-room kind of plotting and a lot of arguments and things. Was it different for you approaching this season being kind of in the room and not in the field as much?
Yeah, it added the element of espionage for me, which is the spy work, the craft work, the actual execution of the knowledge that you have and trying to implement it so that it can be executed in the field, saving Jack, protecting Jack and Mike while they're on the run, and then getting involved later at the end. But to me, that was, I really enjoyed that because that was the sort of discussions I was having with my counterpart consultant, who is a retired CIA officer. So having discussions about all of that and how that works and how you communicate and how important the communication is, and understanding what's at risk when you're communicating and when it's delivered and all. He says that can be some of the most stressful and dangerous times. When you don't have information and someone is out there that you need to get information to or get them to one place, whether it be a person, an asset, or to a safe house or whatever. So I appreciated getting that side of it. I felt as though that upped the ante for me. It added the espionage that is different from just being out in the field.
You're about to cross a line, and there may be no going back.
Because I'm trying to do the right thing.
It was never just about a nuke. This is about starting a world war.
Jesus.
And Mike, what was the biggest challenge for you this season?
Probably, I don't know. Changes to the script story. a lot of it becomes a work in progress at times. And I'm like a weirdo and I get crazy over prepared and try to come to work with everything ready, and scripts get changed on the day. And that's probably the most challenging thing, but they have to, because I think Wendell was saying before that we shoot the whole thing, all 8 episodes at once, and cross-board the whole thing. So you might be shooting episode 8 today and episode 1 tomorrow and episode 3. You make a tweak or a change in one thing, and then you realize 2 weeks down the road, oh my God, oh wait, that doesn't work anymore. And you got to go back and tweak that. That to me, as an actor, is a challenging thing. As a person, I think the most challenging thing to me was being away from my family for that long, having filmed these 2 seasons back to back for the fans, so that there wasn't another 3-year gap between the 2 seasons. Was challenging to be away from our families for over 1.5 years.
The U.S. can't go anywhere near this. We don't have any wiggle room to make mistakes. If you don't come in, you will be recalled.
If I come in now, a whole lot of people are gonna die.
So both of you are phenomenal in this season of the show. It's just really exciting to watch. And both of you have not only the challenge of joining a show that's in progress, but you're playing characters that are really in the middle of massively intense, pulse-pounding situations. And Betty, I'll start with you. How do you even prepare for a role like this?
Well, I had probably the luxury of not having much prep time. I had to really jump in on a moving train and just go. So that was honestly challenging as all get out, but also probably helped in this sort of like, these are high stakes situations. I got a lot of intelligence to deliver and I got a lot of things that I gotta be responsible for, and I'm in this pressure cooker of having to hunt Jack, who's gone rogue and he's not playing by my rules. But I also have this higher up who's like putting a lot of pressure on me to do my job and or I might lose it. So that's a pretty intense situation. I
can imagine. And Nina, for you, you're playing a character who's in this position of massive power, but you're also, every decision that she makes could have potential repercussions. And it's just this massive chess match. What did you do to prepare for this?
Well, truthfully, working with the scripts, you know, because it's all in there, and kind of thinking about looking at the presidents that are out there, the female presidents, and what I liked about them, how they hold themselves, like the New Zealand one, for example, like someone who isn't afraid of showing their femininity, but being very self-assured and clear and strong-minded, but very open. So there's a very humanistic side that they bring to the game, which I love, and what I wanted to give to Alina, because then that gets challenged, you know, and then to see how she goes through all of that's being thrown at her, as you say, in a very fast-paced way. If that hits someone like a politician like her, then how does she hold her things together, you know, and gets to make the right decisions that out of a kind of a gut feeling, and to make the decisions whom she can trust, where she has to let the trust go. That was very, basically incredibly well written, and I just had to grab it and run with it.
Someone was playing a very dangerous game. We have to eliminate Jack Ryan.
Jack, every second matters.
What are you doing?
Improvising.
And for a series like this, it's so intense, it's so serious, there's so much that's going on. I imagine that you have to have some sort of levity behind the scenes to try and have fun. Was it fun behind the scenes? I imagine there's got to be something to make it lighter on the end when you're not rolling.
We had Wendell.
Yeah, fortunately. Who finds levity, and you can have levity with him on and off screen, which is so great, and that's such a gift.
Yeah. And I had Peter Guinness, who plays my father, Really, we had a lot of fun and in between takes, because that relationship you'll see is also very intense.
Yeah.
but in between, even more so, you have to just tell each other stories, make fun, be lighthearted, and there was a lot of that on set.
And a lot of great meals.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Really good meals.
Well, I have to say, it's out of the 3 seasons, this is absolutely the best one so far. I loved every minute of it. You are both absolutely fantastic in it. I can't wait for everybody to check it out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.